Okay, we're now joined by Coach Bielema. Coach, we'll come to you first for an opening statement.
Absolutely. Obviously, a tough day, tough way to end. The kids put in a lot of great preparation. Felt really good about the plan. Thought our guys came over and jumped out. We talked a lot about starting fast, finishing strong. Some things we did today that we haven't been able to do in the past. We're a very positive step in the right direction, but obviously did not get a win and lose an overtime game and have a couple opportunities to score and win and put it away and not have it come out the way we wanted to with a win. So I'll give credit to A&M. Obviously kept coming back. I thought it was a good football game for 4 quarters and a timeout or an overtime period that unfortunately ended up going against us. So I told our kids in the locker room that obviously we're going to have to make corrections, but you can't lose sight of the fact there are some positive things that they got to continue to grow and move forward, and different things that we're able to do. I think found a couple guys that make plays. Obviously, Jay Red is probably doesn't look good. We haven't had the final test yet, but may have done something to his Achilles. Hadn't had any issues there. Just one of those freak things. And obviously, with the departure of him, I thought was the emergence of Jay Nance. I was very proud of Cole Kelly stepping in and doing some things today. Running backs by committee. I thought all those guys kind of handled their moments okay. Defensively, we just gave up too many big plays, and that's what our MO in this game in particular has been our downfall. And then obviously the kickoff return at the end of the game. We've done a great job of kick coverage, really gassed those guys up all week. We were kind of going back and forth between kicking it left, kicking it right. Connor had been stroking the ball pretty good, but that was a high hanger, and our guys obviously I still didn't see the replay, so I don't know exactly. I know it creased up that right side. Was a huge play in the game because it happened so quick when we needed to make them take it down the field. If they had to march down the field, they just couldn't do it. It was those big plays that really hurt us. So very disappointing. Guys are crushed, but obviously 3 games into a season where we got a lot of football in front of us, and if they can fight that way for 4 quarters and beyond the rest of the year like that, they're going to be all right. Tough one to take, but I'm proud of these guys, and they're coachable, and we got to get better as coaches. Myself, starting with me, obviously, to kind of get the ship going in the right direction, continue to move past the guys that had some issues that we got to get corrected and move on. So nothing that's not out there that's not correctable.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Questions? Again, we have microphones on both sides of the room. First one up front.
Yeah, Brett, you alluded to the big plays. You guys, the first few games have been really good about limiting.
Yeah.
What do you think happened today? What do you think of the game?
Well, the first one, the first big, you're talking about defensive plays, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. There was a broken play. We want to keep him in the pocket. A broken play. He gets outside to our left, and I think that one was a Kirk, if I'm not mistaken. Number 3 got kind of lost in the play and ended up getting over on top of our defenders. That was the very first one. I think one of the quarterback runs was obviously our quarterback player. I think there was a guard pull, and he went with that. So the guy that was assigned to the quarterback wasn't there. There was another big pass play, obviously, I think in the first half, if I'm remembering correctly, with a 50-50 ball with Cam Curl, who did a nice job. Really, he got a true freshman corner in his third game as a college football player to answer the bell as many times as he did. And then obviously at the end of the game, I thought that was tough, to get that call against him. I think, we had a pretty good game going on the field. I really felt strongly about our guys competing, and obviously that call was a big call. That kind of changed the momentum there in halftime, or overtime.
Let's go to coach's left toward the back.
With all these big plays the offense was able to do, what do you say to the defense to help them get over it?
Yeah, I'm not following you. Our offense?
No, the defense, when they allow those big plays on offense, get over it.
Well, I mean, it's been obviously a huge point of emphasis for us through those first 2 games. He kept the ball in front of us. And just to, one of our models is just try to get the ball down, get a chance to play another down. It's not what happens, it's how you react to what happens. And case in point, when we Mound got the big run and we got the ball stopped on a 10, they came back and held him to a field goal. That's a good example of rallying to the response. But it's a guy here, a guy there, a missed call or a missed assignment, and it's definitely something we got to correct. Give credit to them; they did a good job of capitalizing.
We'll stay on coach's left.
If you could just talk a little bit more about Cole Kelly, what went into deciding to throw him out there, and what did you think about how he played?
Yeah, he I think for a couple of weeks now we've been working a little package with him. I know during the bye week, Paul and I had some conversations to do something to get him involved. He's I think, not just the offensive guys, defensive guys. They all love Cole Kelly. They wanted to, give him a role. We were really emphasizing red zone production, offense, defense. So I actually brought the whole team together and watched the end of practice when we're all together. Usually you kind of separate with scout teams because I wanted everyone to see it, and it's called steamboat package, and he did a tremendous job with it. Hopefully continue to make that grow.
Down the front row.
Bret, you had some protection issues in the middle part of the game.
Yeah.
It looks like you kind of sealed those up. And what changed that you got the passing game going late?
I think two things. First, we went to some different personnel. I think when we made the switch to get Paul and I tackled, bumped Johnny down to guard. I know it was a rough start on that one series, but then they started being pretty good. I think we had to get rid of the ball a couple times as well. I think Dan made an adjustment there, just getting the ball out quicker. And then obviously the breaks down the field. Jonathan Nance made some protected it, but also Austin threw it, and Jonathan Nance caught it.
Okay, on the front here on the left.
With the direct snaps to Chase Hayden and getting him involved that way, when did you guys add that wrinkle?
That might actually have been in maybe game one, game two. And then obviously when we got out of that last game to realize that we want to get as many times as we can into the script where Chase is going to touch the ball. That was an easy way to have him get involved in the game plan, and it was pretty effective again today. So again, we got a couple guys there at tailback that all are productive, all have some ability, and to give them each a role is hopefully going to be productive down the season.
Okay, on the front row on the right.
Yeah, but Bret, you started David Williams. He played pretty well. Did you start him because maybe Whaley'd missed some practice after the scuffle, or because of the scuffle, or what went into starting David?
No, appreciate the question. Just being honest, David, out of the TCU game, had a little ankle issue. Didn't practice during the bye week. And on Tuesday of this week, he didn't practice because of the ankle injury. And then that incident, I believe, happened on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And got practice on Thursday, but didn't have anything on Wednesday. So just felt, kind of what we learned a couple weeks ago too. And even with reflecting back when we played Jay Red, he was just he didn't get a lot of practice time. And was a little. So no matter how good a player, how long you go, and if you can't practice, I just don't know how much you can get out there and play. So we wanted to be. We gave David the opportunity just because he'd been there the whole time. We felt better with ball security and everything.
You meant Debois on the ankle stuff, right?
Yeah, what did I say? I'm sorry, Debois. Yeah.
Okay, here on the front row.
Just the series, Bret. It's just how heartbreaking has it been the way this has gone.
It's unbelievably. Obviously with the uniforms and to honor Jerry Jones and his family and everything. They've done so much for us and. This is a great game. I know the fans really look forward. Our kids look forward to it. I was looking forward to it. Still do. It's just gut wrenching, and we obviously always say a prayer before and after every game, and I know we're getting tested in some tough ways. It's hard because you put a lot into it. Kids put a lot into it, and getting a lot of negativity. And I wish I could do something for them, but. I know this. We're going to be all right. The kids are resilient as hell. And Santos said some great things at the end. The kids, nobody's looking around pointing fingers. I think it'll be fun when we get there.
What can you say about Christian Kirk? And then after the touchdown, you did the sky kick, and that didn't. They ran that.
Yeah, we one of the things we had practiced obviously with they have a couple different returners back there. He was back there in the first one, and I think they took him out for a couple. We kicked the ball deep left, deep right, had some touchbacks. After they scored that touchdown, we were trying to sky it right in the middle of the field. They had a big open void in the middle. I didn't want to go with the other kicker. I think Connor had been stroking it pretty good. Didn't want to tip anything off and adjust their alignment. But obviously, we wanted to kick that ball. We were trying to get it on the SEC logo right there in the middle and try to get a nice little open area. But that kid did a nice job of catching it. And then a couple guys, I think, thought the play was down, and he ran around for about 10, 15-yard return.
Bret, after the call against Curl, it looked like you talked to the rep. Did he give you an explanation of what he saw?
No, I actually talked to the official that was closest to me. I think it was the back judge, the side judge that I couldn't get to him to ask him. I just I didn't. I want clarity on it. We'll routinely send in plays. this was a really good crew. John, the ref, is a really, really good crew. But there's always going to be a couple plays that we see differently than they do. The only thing you just hate is at the timing of it and in the end of the game, and the effect it ultimately had on the game is pretty significant. Yes.
Okay, here on the front.
Brett, I don't know if you're aware of this. You were talking to the ref early in the game, and his mic was on, and you could hear it all over the stadium. You were saying something about, I think you thought they had 12 men on the field, or there was some kind of substitution. Just wondering what that was about.
I never do. No. I didn't know that, though. But I think if the particular one that you were talking about, when they sub, we were going to sub every time, right? So we had a planned substitution rotation that allows us to get certain people on the field at the time. They had 12, realized that they had 12, and ran a guy off. Well, when the guy ran off, it actually took a player off that we had a different substitution in for. He apologized, said that he would look forward further, and really after that point, I don't think we had any more problems.
Hey, Coach, we'll go on the TV riser toward the right.
Coach, there in the third quarter, you really got in front of the offensive line. What were you saying to them?
Well, they play better. They play better when they're having a little bit of fun. I saw a bunch of long faces, and I always try to stay with the units on the field, but I just feel those guys need a little pick me up. We're kind of a hodgepodge unit right now. Guys are straining. Guys are doing. I knew that was Paul Ramirez's first real live that many reps, and I know Frank invested a lot in this game. I was just trying to be positive, but also I had everybody there kind of offensively, and we've got a couple times now where we've had some opportunities to score winning touchdowns, and our guys have been out of bounds. We got to obviously drill that a lot better. They're just a couple things that we're real close on. I mean, you got guys, young guys making plays all over the place. If we just keep getting better and keep sawing wood, we're going to be all right.
Okay, we'll stay in the back.
Coach.
Yes.
When you came, your goal is to win the SEC. Do you think that you still have a chance to do that, or you think you're running out of time?
Well, I think the SEC West is one of the toughest divisions of college football. So I know A&M has got one win in the conference now, and we don't. So that puts them ahead of us. But we got everybody else left on our schedule, and also 2 crossover games. We're going to take every game for what it is. After a while, you obviously will start to mathematically get people, but not right now.
Okay, we have time for one last question for Coach. We'll go here on the left.
Brett, how frustrating is it that TCU, the defense plays pretty well, doesn't really give up any big plays, but the offense can't score inside the 5, and then today it was really opposite. You do finally score inside the 5, but the defense gives up too many plays.
Well, I'm going to try to be a positive look on things. That we obviously needed to make some corrections on offense and score in the red zone. We did it. Defensively, we gave up some big plays and didn't want to do that. Obviously, I give credit to A&M. We knew they're a good explosive defense. We knew some of their players are dynamic and make a play happen out of nothing, as you saw. But we're still, working through some plowing up snakes in the defense that we're, 3 games into, and I think we're going to continue to get better. I think Paul and the staff do a great job of making that happen. I think there's a couple other times today, too, where we look like we got our hands on the ball, and if we just take one of those plays and turn it into an interception, and it literally changes the course of the game. So our breaks will come. They're going to come, and I know it's painful to live through, and I know it's hard as fans and the loved ones and the kids involved, but it's coming.
Okay, Coach. Thank you very much.